Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 7 of What If Naruto Was an Emotionless Ghost. Remember to hit this one to 200 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Given a Gift that will change everything over on Anime King. And I also posted a brand new episode on this channel of What If Naruto Traveled to Hoshirama's time, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, ready to begin this new episode. Start the intro. So, the last part we left off. As Naruto faced off against Neji, using some underhanded tactics, even throwing dirt in Neji's eyes, Naruto was able to best him as Konoha had to stop the match, as Naruto Tonto was pressing close against Neji's throat. As Neji had to keep his word after the battle, as he wouldn't say anything about Naruto's eye. After all, Naruto told him that it will cause problem, more than enough problem than he would ever imagine, as Neji simply sulked off. Konoha thought that she might have, been a little too hasty while dealing with Naruto, as she apologized, but she still find him a bit weary, but she's gonna try to break him out of that funk, as he needs to settle down with people and talk, have lunch with them, and get to know people better. He couldn't just stay in this cocoon of a shell that he was in at the moment. As that went on, Naruto went back to Konoha as the mission was over. Konoha got a new Hokage, Lady Tsunade, as Jiraiya came to visit Naruto, as Jiraiya had went to the Baka as he managed to convince Tsunade to come back here. While talking to Naruto, he talked about Naruto's father, as Naruto knew the man was not an idiot, as Naruto went into the record's room, as he saw the picture of him and the younger fourth Hokage, as the man looked like him, but except he didn't have whisker marks and his eyes were a lot bluer. As Jiraiya came out, as he told Naruto that he's his godfather, but Naruto said that is only in word, as to him it didn't really matter at all. Yes, he didn't matter to him, as Jiraiya just hoped that they could get on some good terms, somehow, some way, as he told Naruto he would be around. And with that he headed off as Naruto went to visit the Hokage, as Tsunade found Naruto rather peculiar, as she even called Danzo over, as Danzo told that Naruto was the only part of Root that he had. Root was disbanded and Naruto was the only member, as Tsunade asked Naruto if it was true, as Naruto said yes, without controlling himself, as he could see the chakra towards Danzo's eye pulsating. As Tsunade gave Naruto the order to kill Shizune, but Naruto wasted no time and tried to kill her, as Tsunade stopped him. She could see that Naruto was wanting to just go on with the order, without even wasting the time, but what to do with him? As she would still have to think about that more, because she realized he would do anything for the benefit of Konoha. As he went on missions more, as Tsunade was fixing up things back in her absent, seeing that the old man was now dead and a lot of things were messed around. As Tsunade sent Uncle and the Captain and Naruto on a mission, things were getting hasty between them and the San, as the daimyo wanted her to send the San a message, as they were going to appoint a new Kazekage. Tsunade gave him the order to shake him up a bit or something, just to show them that they can get to him as quickly as possible, as they understood, and with that they headed off. Upon arriving there, Naruto realized something. The sand was charged with chakra and laced with it, a lot of it. As he realized the sand was pulsating, as he quickly realized what was going on, Chicago was being reformed here, and the sand team would be out there quickly, as Talon had to go back to Konoha to inform, as he needs Jiraiya's sealing team out here, as Naruto and Uncle decided to stay behind. Things got rather hasty as Naruto started to take out all the sealing team, as he realized while doing that, this beast will emerge, as he heard a deafening roar as a shadow then illuminated the area. So yeah guys, it was basically as we left off. You guys can switch across to the page and check it out for yourself. So, what do you say begin this new episode? Naruto looked at the beast. The thing was a full 60 feet tall. As a skin, the color was a bit dark of the sand, with black markings around its body. As the thing had the eyes closed, its face in a smile. Then the thing unfolded and stretched. It seemed to be happy, being whole once again. Naruto started to run as a roar knocked him off his feet that shook the entire sand. As he looked back towards the sand party, they were preparing to fight. One of the battle fan was at the front, preparing to fight the beast. His posture was clear and stubborn. Most people would have seen a man that was brave and was going to do something to fight for the last and stand his ground, but Naruto saw someone who was about to throw away his life. Not his problem. The beast snorted towards the man and extended a long claw towards him. The man swinging his fangs and jutsu bounced off the beast without even a sound. As the Shikaku started to laugh, the chilling laughter echoed through the sand. Naruto, if you haven't, get out of there. He began to move. Uncle voices now clear, given that the storm was gone. He turned the Byakugan back on to cover his back, and then he saw the great beast turn. It moved slowly, each step caused a tremor in the earth until it was facing him. As an extended claw and a roar. As Naruto created a few clones and had them scattered. As he quickly switched places with the clones as a massive wind attack obliterated his clone. What the hell? Is it attacking you? What the hell did you do to it? As Naruto would wonder if this thing sensed that he killed his host. As he didn't have time, he didn't answer. Running and only leading the thing back to Konoha. And there was very few options. In fact, he only had one. A half chance, something that he really didn't want to do. He switched places with another clone that jutsu ripped the air again, tearing through the trench of the sand. Sand burst through the air, at least 10 meters up. He only done this technique once in his training, only for a brief time, before it was ended by someone else. As he went through hand sign, as the outer seal on his stomach started to unlock, as he felt the chakra swirling up as it burned him. As he let out that hiss, as he felt it, as he saw it as well, red chakra started to swim in his veins, with the unreal power flowing inside of him. He fought the urge to leap at the giant thing in front of him and fight it off. Instead, he stared at the beast. Even though he was a far distance away, he looked dead in the thing's eyes as the thing stared back at him. As the thing paused, the thing then smiled wickedly as he stepped forward once again. Naruto slumped down to all fours as more chakra seeped into his system, as a tail emerged from behind him. As he stared up from the sand, his tail lashing out behind him. It felt like an extension of his body, like an arm. As he felt it, as he felt like roaring, but he fought the instinct. He had to be in control here, or he will get consumed. The beast took another step as the animal inside Naruto took a little more control. As he roared, trying to sustain himself. The raccoon ears twitched as his expression changed, as the beast then stared him down. As Naruto Byakugan vision turned red as he felt the chakra reach his eyes. As the beast then took a step backwards. As attacks slammed on the thing's back from the Sand Shinobis who tried to take advantage of the situation. It then turned and roared at the mortals who tried to seal it once again. The giant tail smashed down into the desert. As Naruto saw that, he started to absorb the red chakra back into him as he hissed in pain and collapsed down as it burned badly. He panted for a second before he got up and started to rush towards the border. Hopefully the Sand Shinobis run towards the sand and draw the beast that way. He then realized he's been ignoring the voice in his ear the entire time. Naruto! Naruto! Here, he said. You sound bad. You okay? I'm fine. That was not pleasant, he thought. What the hell made that thing turn around? What was that other noise? Did you hear it? And what was that other chakra? It felt like that night when the Kyuubi attacked. But it can't be. That would mean no. No. Where are you? She said. Moving towards the border, he said. I'll try to catch you. If you see any snakes, don't kill them. My headset is nearly flat, she said. Yes, he said. He kept on moving and eventually he made his way towards the border. He never felt so happier to see trees than the sand. As the sun had risen, the baking heat had stared down on him. But he made his way towards the trees. As he entered, he saw a stream. As he rushed over and pushed his head straight down to the water. As he pulled his head up with a sigh of relief. As he started to drink, there was a splash. As water flashed over him. Uncle-chan, he said. Darky-kun, she said, as her voice was full of relief and some other emotions. He didn't have time as she pulled him into a tight hug. I'm sorry, she said. I never knew. It's okay, he said. So you were the poor baby in the night. You had the most horrible start and you... She started weeping his shoulder as he held the embrace tight. As the both of them were in the stream, he had absolutely no idea what he was doing. He should be checking the horizon or the weapons, but instead he was here with Uncle. And it seemed like the right thing to do. You use this chakra to scare the one-tails into turning around. That is just scary. I never used chakra before, and I wasn't sure it would work. She laughed. You're just not real, are you? I'm a ghost, he said. How do you manage your curse? A very large sealing matrix, he said. What's your curse? As she pulled back her coat to show a seal. Curse seal. Put on me by my bastard former sensei. He cursed me and threw me away when I couldn't live up to his expectations. Oh, that sounded logical to him, at least ignoring the cursing seal part of a comrade. He realized he should feel disgusted by the idea, but he was a little too problematic. I have a seal that depends on my will to keep it in check. But if I get angry or stressed, it hurts, and I want to kill everyone. Oh, everything's gonna be acceptable. She looked at him. Acceptable? As he looked at her, that wasn't a word he needed to say. He was talking to a friend, so it wouldn't be acceptable. Everything's gonna be fine, he said. You sure? Yes, he said. As he gave a slight tightening of the embrace, and her body seemed to relax. Thank you. There was silence. She then started to chuckle, her normal chuckle. You know, we'll get hypothermia if we stay in this stream much longer. Talon would make fun of us if we get that in a trip to the sun. It would be odd, yes, said Naruto. Good thing I know how you two got it then. A very, very amused voice said, as Talon landed with a large group of envoys. Too late, Taloncon. The one tail has already reformed and is out there in the desert. Did they seal it? No, said Uncle. And the tag candidate, last seen attacking it, dead. Most likely, tail beasts are tricky opponents. Talon relaxed a bit as Pig sighed from behind him. So you drag half a barracks out here, just so we can hear that Lion and Uncle done it already. It appears so, Pig, as there was some chuckling from here. But as Lion will tell us, our backup was necessary and logical, right? Correct here, San, said Naruto. The man nodded as Talon started to direct the envoys to watch the border. When he was done, he turned to Uncle and Naruto. You two need rest, stay on the border. Then make your way home tomorrow. Here, check on any injuries they might have. After a suitable checkup, Naruto went on a wide branch in a tree, as something forced itself next to him. I need a pillow, Dorkikon. As Uncle rested her head on his, seeing the height difference, as she fell asleep almost instantly. As Naruto thought about switching with something, but he decided not to bother, as he crashed into a sleep as he allowed himself on missions. Besides, she was a comfortable pillar as well. Time skip, the office was quiet, as Jiraiya slipped inside with ease. As Jiraiya looked towards Navi, who had a half-empty steak saucer on her table. She looked up with a smile at her old teammate and friend. What's the word? Although I get the feeling this isn't going to be good news. There's good and bad, although I'm not sure about the good. I'm not even sure which is which. She put down the report she was reading and sighed. Hit me with it, Jiraiya, she said. The sand is in pieces. The vast majority of the forces do not exist, and the daimyo is making a call for aid, an immediate ceasefire on any humane grounds. Idiot, said Navi. He would cling to power while his people suffer? Sadly so, the village suffered greatly at the hands of the One-Tails. But it was stopped and captured. How? Said Navi, as she saw the look on his face. Akatsuki, the same group that was in counter looking for Naruto before you arrived. Apparently, they came in and defeated the beast for San, but no one knows details. Looks like no one witnessed the battle, or if they did, they were killed. Tell me more about them. They don't talk to Konoha. My spies tell me they're a powerful group of shinobis doing mission for money. Any mission, possibly, missing names in the group. I did give you this information already. She looked towards a pile of unread documents. But still, they just took a tail beast? Yeah. And no one in the sand asked where they were taking it, she asked. They had no choice currently, they have no elite shinobi to speak of. It was handed over or die. Dire indeed, said Navi. Find out more about this group. If they want the tail beast, that means Konoha will be in danger in the future. Yes, he said. Oh, and come back safely. Goodness knows who will take your place. Yes, someone will have to continue my books, he said. As she laughed gently. Get going, she said. Yes, Hokage-sama, he said, as he left. As Navi thought back Naruto, he was in danger. She would have to talk to him when he returned from the border. The next morning, as Uncle and Naruto were there as they were given the report. As Nadia sighed, she knew that Uncle might do something like this, but not Naruto, he was a thinker. So when it just started to reform, you both jump at the plan to attack? Well, yes, and it worked. The sun is now destroyed. Its shinobi fort shattered. The civilians either dead or scattered in refugee borders between itself and the stone. How many dead do you think, Uncle? As Uncle turned her head from Snazzy's gaze. You were far too affected. The saving grace is that Konoha cannot be connected to the destruction of the sand. But even so, if I knew this would have happened, I wouldn't have sent you. I did not wish to end up killing so many. We were at war, said Naruto. Death is a given during war. Really, Naruto, did we need to be at war? Could we not have just tried to negotiate with them? Secure a promise from them? There was a balance between the 5 nations, and now one of them is gone. The consequences will take some time to pan out. Then, we will be ready when time comes, he said. We will. Now, I got both written reports. One is neatly written, standard. Besides the whining about lack of dango, one of these give up all exciting read and plenty of detail. Uncle looked at Naruto. I didn't know you could write. I can. I just like details. Can I see it? As Nadia passed the report sheet over to Uncle. As Uncle read out loud. My crossbow kicked into my shoulder with the assurity of knowing that the bolt is going to fly through. Sure enough, the steel artist started to hold the beast in the chains as the bolt went through his skull, as the sand turned briefly red, before being absorbed into a swirling mass. The earth shook with great magnitude, my body shaking with it. I rolled as the sand pillar expanded and took the bodies into a death grip, dragging them into the turning melee of sand. I can only anticipate that their mass was added to that of the beast, speeding up its survival process, their chakra adding to its own. I had to move. Taking over the cover, I started to run, skidding through the sand. That's enough, Uncle. I read as well, said Snappy. There was a disappointed noise from the office door as Shizune poked her head around. Sorry, can I read it when you're done? Shizune sighed. This was going to become a problem no matter what she did. If only my idiot teammate had that literate sense, I would have married him and gambled his fortune away, said Snazzy. Shizune had reappeared. What? Nothing, Shizune. I need to assume name, said Snazzy. Why, Uncle said. For him. I'm gonna start publishing his stuff with a subtle delay. Sounds like a money-making scheme that is extremely grey with moral, Hokage-sama. The grin on Uncle's face showed that she didn't care about moral at all. As Snazzy smiled back. 20% cut. 30%, said Uncle, and a note thanking me in each, and an executive decision over all color of the books. Obvious, and I assume name for you as well, provided that I agree, and that it isn't purple like my perfect teammate books. Fine, deal. As Naruto watched the two of them. So you intend to publish my mission reports, sell them, and make a profit out of them? Isn't that against regulations? I made the regulation, kid. I think your reports can give you a lot of money, considering that you get a 35% cut. Money means nothing to me, he said. Find a better use for it. Snazzy looked at him see if he was joking, despite knowing that he wasn't. Hospitals, academy, anything else that needs improvement. The food at the orphanage is terrible. Well, it was from my experience. Otherwise, I'm sure you can find better uses. Can I go, he said. Yes. Uncle started to rub her hands together, thoughts of Dango deep in her head. No, Uncle, we need a name for you and him, and title for the stores. As the both of them smiled. I think I have just a name in mind, said Uncle. Time skip. Naruto sat in meditation in his room. His slow breathing was the only noise in the room. He was in control at the moment. No more of a chakra in his system. No more of the vision, or the darkness. As he ran his hand over the cover of the book that had been sent to him, as a package at his doorstep, he didn't read the title or look at the cover. He just knew what it was already. He wondered, would anyone read his books? Why would they want to read about his missions anyway? There was nothing special about them. His report was just written in that style because it was less dull than writing dull facts. When did he ever care about dull though? When did he start to care? He ruffled his hair as he came to his conclusion. It was when he woke up at the Root Barracks. He remembered the cell, the single set with bare walls, and nothing. He looked around his apartment. It was barely visible, but yet he knew it. He had changed it in the dead of night. It was his. He modified the roof, and the locks, and the door, everything. He never had this in Root, because he never wanted it. But it was good. There was so much Root had never offered, and never had. It was confusing. He was better than others his age. As he could have been happy. He was happy with what he was. Happy. What does that have to do with anything? Since he came into the light and out of the darkness, he felt like he was determined to just shout it out on top of his lungs. But why would he do that? That was stupid. He walked towards the window and lit a sliver of moonlight into his apartment. The bed. It was an orange sheet. As he thought that the color was useless, he saw the sofa was a battered chocolate brown. He ran a hand over it as it was so comfortable. He never felt it before like this. As he felt like he was experiencing vision and touch for the first time. Sensation flooded his body and kept going. He didn't know why. He felt like he wanted to meet people and tell them how awesome everything is. And that scared him a bit. He decided to trek to the rooftops to calm him down a bit more. As he slipped the window open and closed the curtain behind him. As he took to the roof. As he jumped from rooftop to rooftop. As he landed on the rooftop. A blade swung over his head as he ducked. He pulled his blade in seconds. This wasn't normal. The last person to track him successfully was Hokage. As he leapt off the roof to another roof and started to run. As his assailant wasn't giving up too easily. As he made clones to feel off as he went. As the person behind him was skilled as he was. He landed and spun, sending his blade out. The figure twists, used the wind burst to push himself up. Naruto leaped back and spun once again. His opponent did not move. Then they lowered their hood. Naruto. Danzo-sama? Naruto jumped back across the rooftop and greeted his old master. Your skills remain sharp indeed. You have gained new ones. Such improvisation is a welcome sight. Thank you, my lord, said Naruto. Yet you were slow to run, and I seem to enjoy the chase too much. You're changed into something different from what I created. I understand what he meant about having things I didn't have. Root trained me to become the best at what I do. Yet, since I came to the light those months ago, I have learned new things. People are so complex, inaccurate, unpredictable, yet predictable. They are a mystery that I only slightly understand. Their interactions, their emotions. They are all different yet somewhat the same. They are all interesting. Understanding people is a useful skill. I would encourage it. Yet, friendship. What a friendship, Naruto asks. As Danzo's face hardened. It can lead to pain, and yet drive you. Perhaps my relationship with the late Hokage was friendship. Perhaps it was not. It was not something I ever had. It clouds the mind. I believe I could have other effects, beneficial ones, said Naruto. Be cautious. Just as with this Navi, she doesn't understand the darkness. Trust nobody. I understand. Be careful, Naruto. Be cautious. You are the shadow in the light, and you must remain that way. You're the ghost that hides in the night. Yes, said Naruto. As Danzo started to walk away slowly, he then stopped and turned back briefly. I wish that I had never given you away. As he then jumped down to the streets, as he made his way off. As Naruto pondered his words, there was a new feeling in his head. He was just told not to trust anyone. Did that include Danzo-sama himself? He realized he didn't understand the instructions properly. Time skip. Naruto moved through the forest as fast as he possibly could. The Hokage mission swirled in his head. Sasuke has fled the village. He had turned traitor. As he was the target of this mission, not that it really mattered. And Naruto would deal with him accordingly. As he remembered the words, kill or capture. Sasuke Uchiha, support the retrieval team in their mission. Go. He has no idea how the retrieval team was doing, as he was propelling himself off of each tree. The circumstances were bad. An enemy that wounded Konoha in the past were now stealing one of their shinobis. The last of the clan and one of the brightest prospects for the next generation of shinobis. He also had the Sharingan, which was valuable. As Naruto thought what he would do if he had a Uchiha in his possession. The Sharingan was very useful. Yes, it was too useful to be lost, especially for the village. He would have carefully controlled the Uchiha movements, aimed to injure him when he matured, force him to retire. From there, he could rebuild the clan. Eventually, given enough generations, the Uchiha clan could be rebuilt in Konoha. Still, it was unimportant. If he decided to defect on his own, he would have to kill his target. And he would be a difficult target to kill. Hopefully, he wouldn't be needed. He didn't know who the retrieval team was. But, hopefully, the right person, the right jutsu could do it. He saw Sasuke fight before. His style was fast, relying on taijutsu and powerful ninjutsu. He could beat him, and certainly another with the same skills could do it as well. He heard something crash as he saw smoke. As he activated the Byakugan, there was one signature line to rapidly fade in one, as he sped up to see who was who. As he arrived to see it was a boy that he never met before. But the swirls in his cheek told him that he was Akamichi. He had to keep moving though. He couldn't provide medical help right now, as more would be coming to help him on though. As he made his way, he passed by another fight. Neji was suddenly fighting his opponent. He passed on Neji, would not desire his help and may not need it, as his situation was a dire one and he needed to get to the Uchiha fast. As he ran through scenarios in his head, could he ambush Sasuke if he got ahead of him? Would it be possible to fire into a fight with a fellow shinobi safely? He suddenly paused as he looked, as he saw a wave coming from the trees over there, as they were expanding, but they getting weaker and weaker the more they go on. He felt his vision blur, release, as the Genjutsu was trying to get to him. As he made his way, whoever they were fighting, he didn't know who it was, but that would just slow him down as he kept on moving. 3 comrades he couldn't help, even someone as Neji. He couldn't even make a shadow clone, because perhaps he would need a chakra. His legs started to burn as the toll of the journey of moving so fast started to take effect, as he was dehydrated from the hours of running, but he knew he had to keep on going. Eventually a burst of chakra had caught his attention, followed by a second burst. There was a fight ahead that glowed with chakra as he sped up. As he went to the edge of the valley, he turned off his Byakugan. He wouldn't need to try and follow this fight. 2 figures were down there. One, he was in a golden figure that encased him, as black lightning leaped from a point and came towards the golden figure, but the fist knocked the black lightning away. The great figure jumped back as wings emerged fully from his back. As Naruto saw them creating 2 jutsu, the 2 figures, wings, and the golden aura were fighting, clashing violently. As Naruto wasn't really hiding anymore, he was just watching. He knew one of the figures was Sasuke, and that he was one with the wing. The lightning jutsu gave that away. The other though, he wasn't sure who it was. The jutsu was never one he heard described before, but he felt he saw it before. The golden chakra on the warrior took the blows from Sasuke, as Sasuke dodged each attack. Naruto couldn't hear anything because the waterfall was rushing down, heavy. He was sure they were shouting as he kept on switching between Byakugan and normal vision. He readied his bow, ready to take a shot at Sasuke if he presented himself. As the fight continued, as Naruto found himself wrapped up in a contest, the golden figure landed blows with all of his might, trying its best to defeat Sasuke. But the fight couldn't last forever. 2 figures broke apart and came at each other one last time. A spear of dark lightning teared through the chest of the golden giant, breaking through it, as a cry of agony could be heard. That cry, Naruto heard it before. The golden light faded away. From the genin, a second stab, everything crumbled down. It was Baka. As Sasuke tossed him into the wall, as he crashed badly. As Sasuke marched forward, Naruto realized he should shoot. Baka was basically dead. He could shoot through him to kill Sasuke. He squeezed his finger and didn't feel the bow. Jumped to his shoulder, as he did again and again. He then realized his finger was not on the trigger. He was squeezing empty air. He took hold of his bow, as he looked down there. Sasuke was holding Baka, taking notice of his beaten form. As he tried to fire but he could not. His figure suddenly lacked the strength to fire off. Anyone but him, nearly anyone else would have fired through them, but he could not hurt his friend. The wet sizzle as Sasuke slammed his lightning, as Naruto couldn't watch, as he wiped away the rain that was falling in his face. But rain was not falling. He forced himself to focus, as his legs were in pain right now after running for so long. As Sasuke was still attacking Baka, who couldn't make a noise, who couldn't move. The blood was soaking into the ground, a light drizzle started to fall. He focused, staring at Sasuke as he shut his normal eye, using the Byakugan to guide him. Baka was slumped in Sasuke's grip, bleeding heavily. As Naruto cursed his anger, Sasuke was holding the limp body so good, it covered all his vital areas. As Naruto felt annoyed that he couldn't add chakra to manipulate or add more punch to the bolt, he tightened his grip as he saw Baka's head rise, as he saw the boy lip move, as Naruto could read the lips. As he fired, the bolt flew straight towards the target, and for once, Naruto was praying that it missed, but he didn't miss. As it pierced right through Baka's head and ran through towards Sasuke, the jolt of impact twisted Sasuke enough that the bolt slammed into his shoulder. As Sasuke cried out in pain, but he was too tired to search for a target. Naruto gripped his Tonto blade and made his way, but a newcomer appeared. Bony growths were on the man's arm, and they were filled with chakra. As Naruto could see, this wasn't a person he could face. They looked exhausted and injured, but the fact that the person was in a fight meant that he was a person that Naruto could not face, because they won and came out of it. The other man stepped behind Sasuke, giving Sasuke time to retreat. As Naruto cursed, he didn't get his shot. He had killed Baka, and a low percentage shot. Maybe he should have waited. Maybe Sasuke would have let him survive somehow, and maybe backup would have arrived. He pushed the emotion back in his head ignoring the snore that he heard from his stomach. There was no time now. Sasuke the escort, and he couldn't make any shot. His mission orders were clear: capture or kill. He will complete his mission. As Naruto kept on, as he made his way forward, even though his body was aching. Time skip. The rain was pouring hard as Kakashi landed near the valley. He barely felt the rain as he was rushing so fast. His two students, one a project who couldn't control, and one who growed over on him over time. The devastation in the valley show a hard battle. When he heard of the oath to bring Sasuke back, he knew to come down to this. His student would have fought until he died trying. As he saw the hunch form in the rain, as he ran anyway, hoping it wasn't that bad as it looked. Even the rain hadn't washed away all the blood. As he lifted the broken body in his arms and looked at interest, his chest was a ruin, ripped apart and cauterized by lightning. He felt the pain that he given to Sasuke was used on one of his other students. As he saw the bruise and cut flesh, the thing that hurt him most was the wound to his head. It wasn't the largest injury. It wasn't the most bloody, but it was one that he knew was caused by a Konoha shinobi. He knew which one had done it though. Naruto, what have you done? He felt a tear fall from his eyes. He accepted the truth. He even knew where Naruto had gone as he turned towards the valley. Any other shinobi would know when the game was up, when the target had escaped. They would know when to stop the mission. But Naruto wasn't any other shinobi. He would keep on going until he was dead. Then there was a darker thought. Had Naruto been in collusion with Sasuke? He knew he couldn't just discount the theory. But everything within him fought it. He knew others might take that and try to view it as well. There will be those who blame everyone else. Hopeless now they will know the truth of the matter. He began a long journey back to Konoha, holding the body of the student in his arm, as he took a last look to where the ghost had gone. Time skip. He crawled into the ventilation shaft quickly and quietly. As he pushed forward, he grabbed the string and pushed the cover back in the hole as he clipped to her place, as he allowed himself to breathe again, as he heard heavy clatter of feet all around him as he vibrated through the vent. There were voices. They were shouting loudly. He went this way. He hasn't. There's no trace of him. Even Bloody Karen cannot sense him anywhere. I swear I saw him. Everyone said that. Even I said that. It's a ghost. It has to be some sort of ghost. There isn't anyone here. Just look around. But she can sense him sometime. The girl is a nutcase. The boy knows that he's here. That Uchiha traitor is paranoid. The girl is just trying to impress him. There's no one here. You see how she looks at him, right? She's clearly upset with him. But, no buts. Tell Kabuto our search found nothing, and prepare for the beating that we will receive, even though there's no one here. The door was slammed shut, as Naruto kept on crawling along the ducts, as he was sweating badly of the air in the vent ducts, as his body was aching in pain. How many days have he been here? How many weeks? When did he last sleep? The seal had been ramped up on his stomach to the full extent, cutting off almost all of his chakra. He had to. He found that a powerful sensor was here when he was first here, and she hadn't left. Not to mention the extract missing that he has physically seen walking through the base. He crawled through the ducts. He has memorized them after all. As he found the spot where his home was, it was his home now. The underground base had a ventilation shaft where the rock was carved into. He pushed alongside the cover and crawled into the small opening. The soft dripping of groundwater was calming. He collected one of the bottles that he had stolen from the kitchen where it was dripping water. As he drank, feeling the cool liquid run down his throat. It was the best feeling he had felt for the entire day. The water wasn't great, but it was better than nothing. He reflected on his target. The target was extremely well protected. They will have to be poisoned. Rescuing was no longer an option. He needed to poison Sasuke. He knew he had to do it in 3 years. He knew the protection he had. As he dropped the textbook that he had and put it near to the candle that he stole in, he needed a light to read. He needed to write a report on this as well, but the pad and paper he was using was nearly full. He will steal more paper and pens though. He didn't know why, but these words, vengeance and atonement, he needed them. Sasuke needed to die. Time skip. I saw the head of a chef fell to the floor yesterday, and I moved back with the rest of the cooking staff. That is what happened to anyone who feed the Uchiha substandard food. Has Lord Orochimaru make itself clear? I mumble my apologies with the rest of the cooks blended in the background trying to hide myself. The Uchiha spent a few hours vomiting yesterday, missing out on important training. Do you realize how important that boy is? How his nutrition must be perfectly balanced. How his health must be perfect balance. And then, he pointed towards the head of his corpse on the ground. This man here decided not to check on the meat that he was cooking, and just said that it's ready. Do not make the same mistake. If anything happened to Uchiha, all of you will die. Another cry of apologies were offered from everyone around him, as he blended in and apologized as well. Excellent. Now back to work before the Uchiha nutrients diet returned back to normal, as a white-haired man that was poking them after killing the chef left the room. As I walk around, blending in, all of these men here were all one chef in the land of rice. But since Orochimaru took over, they all work for him now. They occasionally talk a bit about their restaurant with sadness in their eyes. None of them could say no to Orochimaru because those who did had stopped breathing. No, they helped feed a small army of sound shinobis and prepare food for Orochimaru and his elites. It is a hard task because the smallest problem leads to punishment, as in death. The number of replacement legs are also testament to when they mess up the slightest. Because even if you did one accident, stirring something wrong, doing something that upsets any of them, a hand, a foot, even an ear or finger would go missing from you. As Naruto was currently writing a POV as he slipped into the cover and undid the hinge. At least he's been eating better for these past days. The other chefs will believe that I have been killed, thinking I made a mistake in the night because they will never see me again and I will never be spoke of. I got to look at the calendar and I saw I've been here for some time now. I have started my catalyst against the Uchiha. I have inserted and made sure the Uchiha get the uncooked meat. Mixing with the catalyst causing him vomiting, food poisoning. This is a clear sign that the catalyst I have performed had formed inside of him. It also confirmed that Kabuto doesn't suspect this as anything but poor cooking, but it will fester in the Uchiha. Step 3 of the poisoning plan is now complete. Snakes are renowned for their cunningness and quick thinking and planning, but yet I feel my plan is working well. I am scheming, a literal schemer. It feels like a game of shogi, but there's still a lot of work to do. The shinobi here is tight, and there is no problem, but Orochimaru is too overconfident. He does not believe anyone can infiltrate his base and be inside for so long without him noticing, and that is his biggest downfall. He does not know of my presence. I must be careful now. The drum of the feet above me is loud, but I've been here in the darkness. It's been a while since I've seen the sun, but it will stay that way until my mission is complete. I am the ghost after all. Time skip. They nearly found me. As they moved through the ventilation system, if their inefficient weren't so bad, they would have been able to catch me, and I would have to be used force for the first time. This has been the longest mission I've been on, but yet I only had to fire one shot. I regret that one shot even now and wish I had not. I still reflect badly on it. Whenever I see my bow, I wonder what would have happened if I had not fired it. Baka would have still probably died. But it is still my mistake. I realize how many mistakes I've made. Being in here in the darkness, it is all flooding back. With the 7th stage of the plan completed, I find myself wishing that time would pass faster and faster. This is a problem I have not had before with every day though. I feel this eagerness for time to pass more and more. They are coming, they are scouring. They could find me. I know the probability is slim, but being here so long is just risk of getting fined. But they will not. I am a ghost, and I have learned new tricks while being here. My stealth before seems almost apologetic and clumsy. I have lowered the chakra required for all of my hinge and everything performed, so I will not be detected so easily. The guards speak of the ghost in the night. I must make sure my movements are kept silent so I'm not seen. Holding a hinge can let me get detected by sensors. I long to activate my beacon but I cannot. Using that will get me detected. What I really find ironic is the sun. I miss the sun. Yes, I really used to hate the sun. Always prefer working in the dark, but now, as the day go by, stuck in the dark, I cannot see it, and I miss it. I miss the conversation with Baka. I miss the other Gen in my age. I miss the rain. I miss the wind. But I must continue to fight these thoughts. Screams keep me up at night in my head, but I have to fight them off. I cannot let myself give in. I am thankful though that her visits are rare and short, because her screams always snap me out of sleep. As I wake up in cold sweats, drenched in it. My hair I have cut it kunai to keep it short, and I feel facial hair starting to grow. My age is becoming apparent. I must still be short because I have not eaten for some time, nor sleep. Tiredness is overtaking me sometimes, but I cannot give in. I must stay on the target. If I do, release my guard, they will find me. But I cannot. Sleep will claim me soon. But I have to be focused. Time skip. Report update. 453. I have gained a summoning contract. I was lucky the way I found it. Locked away in a deep vault. The guards were out, and I had to escape, and I had to go deeper within the base. The locks were easy to pick, like the combinations were familiar. Given that Orochimaru formerly worked with my master, their bases are quite similar. After all, if you have a vault, never draw attention to it. It must always be kept in the shadows, like nothing is there. I spent 2 days in that vault, searching for things useful. In the end, I found it within the corner. I would say it called to me, but in truth I was lucky to see it. A rat contract. Not a noble animal, but they're needed to me, and they're useful. They find holes in small places, and they will fight when cornered. I feel an odd kinship within them. They do not speak much. I signed the contract with a sense of curiosity. My blood formed in the paper. I realized it has been so long since I heard or read my own name. It felt like it wasn't even mine anymore. I'm fortunate that you're small. Some of them take like a chakra, and they're Hydra by nature. The contract has few names on it, all of them crossed off. They're either dead or broke the contract. I summoned their leader and we spoke in the dark. He felt my kinship. Yes, we had a connection. We are the same. Things that hide in the dark. I can now have eyes and ears all over the base, and this is what I respect them for. Time skip. Report. 653. The mission may be done. I can only know when I hear of the results. However, the cost may be dire. With the 10th stage complete and all part of a dosage now completed, I transform once again into the manner of a chef. I do not know how long it took, but I fed the Uchiha's dosage. In truth, it was a stroke of luck that I did so. He had returned from mission. He grumbled and shouted at me and the other staff as he demanded food. I gave it to him with trembling hands. He mistook my excitement for fear. His arrogance, thinking that there was nothing, was undoing. He ate the food and left. I could only hope. I was trembling badly. He needs to die. I should have used a clone for this, but I could not. I need to see with my own eyes. Because if I had failed, everything would have been wasted. A year, locked in this place. I had to know the feeling of victory, even as he was unaware of his defeat. I have not seen the body and I will not leave this place until I do. But I know the effects are starting now. I have other eyes though, who will confirm for me. There will be no chance of his survival. He needs to die. As I write, his body should be filling itself with toxin as fast as they treat him. He should have died within moments if they did not treat him instantly. I won the long game. He stormed into the kitchen himself, the great fear. Orochimaru himself stepped inside the kitchen. The wall was destroyed. A killing intent fell on our shoulders. I was fighting so hard to keep myself at bay. I had to remain in control. I had to act my part until it was the last moment. The kitchen was destroyed in his fury, and he started to attack. I was glad that I was not the first one. I had the time. I had to do it quickly. I put my hands behind me and substituted a clone as fast as possible. And I released the chakra. She felt it. That girl, she was near the sensor. She felt this surge of chakra. I escaped in the vents as I saw them drag the clone away. They knocked him down. He is not dead. They would want to torture him first. Eventually though, my control will slip, and it will dispel, and they will know I'm here. I must escape before then. My summons will give me the word on my success. They are good at finding secrets. I will write the report when I see the sun. As her face came to me again and she smiled, as I make my way through the base. Time skip. Team 8 move along the border. It was a routine mission now, since the problem with the sand had been subsided. The stone was a threat now, but they haven't attacked yet. Hinata scanned the area of Byakugan as her teammates did their other checks. There wasn't anything. There never really was. She sighed to herself. This was the last mission she tried, without him being there. She talked to everyone. They all did their best to keep her going. She managed to pass through the exam somehow, but she expected the competition wasn't very strong. Without his smile, without his encouragement, she couldn't keep doing this anymore. She couldn't keep being a shinobi. She cried over his body, his broken body. When Kakashi came to the village in the pouring rain, she rushed over. She couldn't believe. She had dropped to her knees, crying. She had cried for days. She wasn't able to make it to the funeral. She was physically ill. She had retired from shinobi life and she lived out her days somehow. He was the one who gave her courage, but now he was dead. Maybe she would find someone who didn't make her miserable and have children. But there wasn't any hope for happiness. The past was bleak, the present was bleak, and the future was bleak. She knew there wasn't anything within a mile from her. She then heard a noise, a scream. A yell of agony beyond anything she had ever heard before. The chakra exploded into vision as she burst towards it. She ran, ignoring her teammates behind her, to hold back until she knew what it was. They were in pain, and if it was a trap, she would deal with it. Death didn't matter. If this was a trap, and it claimed her, she'd welcome it. She was so tired of all of this. The scream intensified as she got near, as she reached a figure that whashed and slashed wildly on the ground. She gripped the figure as her hair fell into his face as she held him down, as she knocked away the dagger from him. As she saw it, a bag, a crossbow, another pouch. Wait, a crossbow? The figure was hissing in pain. As she pulled back the hood and saw the face, its single visible eye. The face was pale like he hadn't seen the light for years. Dark patches all over. His whisker marks faded like they were almost nothing, as his face had a beard on it. The azure blue eye met her pale lavender eyes. As he spoke, his voice raspy. I hope you smile this time. She smiled without being able to resist it. As he fell unconscious, Hinata, who is it? Him, she said, her voice trembled. Huh? Kiba came over to look at the face. Him, she said. Don't you recognize him? Wait, Kiba saw the bow. It is him. What the hell, Kiba said. We need to get back to Konoha now. But, we need to get back now, Hinata said, as she moved the body on Akumaru's back. As he started to move back, mission protocol be damned. They need to get back, this was more important. He had the answers that she wanted, and she would get them. They had to move quickly so he wouldn't die on them. Time skip, Uncle shifted excitedly outside the IT cells. As she waited, the high-profile target has been taken in, and in a few moments, she hoped that she could be the one to interrogate them. She would make them stew in their own fear before breaking them. She would unpick their minds, so many glorious things she would do. As she heard footsteps, hard footsteps, as she looked up, as Ibiki strolled towards her, like it was a normal, fine day. Can I have them? Can I have them? Please, please. Ibiki-kun, please, can I have some fun, she said. It's all yours, uncle, but there's some additional information you need to know before. Yay, this is going to be awesome, she said. Ibiki tried to grab her before she entered the doorway to the cells, but she already stepped in. She sighed. She was in for a shock. Still, it would teach her to listen to him first. As she made her way and looked inside, there was a silhouette of someone in the cell. A small window let in a little bit of light in the room. The person was huddled up, probably scared. That was no fun. She preferred defiance. Hello there, I get to play with you today. It's gonna be fun. I have so many toys I can share with you. The figure didn't move, not even an inch, as her voice echoed off the cell. Oh, you're not gonna be fun. She smiled, a tough guy then. Someone who thought they could just block her out like that. Ready or not, here comes Uncle-chan. She undid the lock and kicked the door in, as the door slammed against the wall, as it came around back and she placed her hand on it to stop it. As she made her way towards the person in the corner, she gripped it by the neck and pulled, but she was blinded with a smoke bomb beneath the blanket. She coughed. How the hell did he still have equipment on him? Surely, it had all been confiscated. There was a note where he had been. It was only one word. Sorry. She turned and rushed out the door to where Ibiki had been. He was still standing there. Quite a surprise, Uncle? You're not kidding, said Uncle. Look, I was going to tell you when. Tell me, said Uncle. He's gone. Uncle saw a shocked look on Ibiki's face. Seemed that two of them were talking about something rather different. What? He's gone. He dropped a smoke bomb. Damn it, said Ibiki. Wait, who the hell was that? No time, we need to go to the confiscation equipment area. Why? Because that's exactly where he'll be going, said Ibiki, as the both of them rushed forward. If Ibiki was running, shit was going down, as he called on everyone to get out of the way or lock down the IT department as quickly as possible. They did so with speed that escape prisoner would cause pure havoc. The door was open as he rushed through. Guards! As both doors were open, both men were unconscious, as they were thick with metal glass that were hard to break through. But the person did it. How the hell? Said Uncle. We may not be too late, as they split running through the storage room. Ibiki reached a box as he opened it, as the place was filled with smoke. A sleeping bomb. He focused himself and shook off the chemical. It will take more than that to knock him out. Did he leave a sleep bomb in this one? The scent is unmistakable. Ibiki smashed his face in the wall. Damn it. How the hell did he do it? No one. Escape their cell. Sneak through IT and get their weapons. How the hell did he do it? Ibiki, who the hell is this person? Naruto, Ibiki said. Oh, that is all kind of shit. We're gonna need some envoys. Timeskip, Talon moved along the rooftops with all envoy that were in the Baron when Ibiki came through the door. Right now, they were spreading over Konoha, trying not to cause a major alarm. He suspected there were going to be more joining up here sooner or later, and he wanted to get this done first. As Talon knew where the house was, he knew where to look, and he wouldn't bother with a quiet entrance this time. The days when it was a game to try and get his attention and test him was long over. as he made his way through the window and twisted by to dodge a bolt, but there was none. Dust filled the entire room. He tried to sense, but the boy was not here. As he quickly turned on the light switch, and the apartment was fully seen to him, he kicked the door off the hinges of the bathroom. Nothing. As he turned, the moment he turned, smoke bomb filled the entire area. Damn it. As he cursed the boy brilliance as he dropped down the sofa, falling asleep. As a note was placed on his jacket with the word sorry on it. Time skip. Repeat this to me again. He escaped TNI. My Envoy captain isn't reporting, and he was found unconscious in Target House, and no one can find him. That is as far as we know, Hokage-sama. Ibiki, what the hell? Is this some sort of genjutsu or test on me or something? I wish I would be in less trouble for it. Damn right, says Nan as she drinks from the bottle of sake. Who is on it? All of the Envoy available. Ever, Inuzaka and Aburame and Hyuga, we could get on it. And still nothing? God help us if he left Konoha. We caught him by chance the first time. Where's Team 8? You think he will try and find them? He will try and find Hinata if her statements are accurate and I'm guessing right. She should be in the Hyuga compound. He wouldn't possibly. He could find Kakashi and move. Time skip. The sound outside of her door woke her. She wasn't really sleeping, just half conscious. She needed answers. She wanted to be awake and be doing something, not leaving it to other people. She wanted to do something. She slipped out of bed and put a nightrobe on herself. As she slipped out of bedroom, there was a place she had to be. No one else was around. As she slid open the door in a small center towards the garden, as she went and sat down at the lake, as she saw the stars around her, one of them were blinking. As she quickly activated her Byakugan, as she searched around, she saw nothing. She must have blinked or something. As she deactivated her eyes, as she looked at the water and saw the reflection of the moon, and then she saw someone behind her. She nearly made a noise with the hand covering her mouth. She fought for a second before calming. He wasn't going to kill her. The hand withdraws slowly, as he then sat down on the other side of the pond. You. Yes. I need to see your face. Why me, Hinata said. You're in dreams. They're better. Your smile. She stared at him. This was definitely uncomfortable. As her hand clenched. You killed him, she said. You killed him, she said. As tears started to fall from her face and hit the water of the pond. I didn't kill him, Sasuke. Use him. Shield. You still fired. I didn't want to kill. You still did. I'm sorry. As more tears fell into the pond, she felt his thin arms wrapped around her, as she allowed him a second before pushing him off. As he stood on top of the water, there was a noise at the edge of the compound, but the moment she turned back around, he was gone. Timeskip, the pug dog, was sniffing around, as he couldn't find anything. Hinata had met him, she had talked to him, but there was no trace of where he went. As he tried to pick out the trail, as he set off hearing the other dogs, Kakashi was behind him. The smell, it was dark, not black, it was just dark, strange. As he could find that trail, it was very thin. He had to move quick. As Pakon moved as fast as possible, a small movement caught his eyes. A rat rushing into an alley. As he didn't look at the rat too long, as he had a mission. As Pakon pressed on the other dogs, all of them sniffing him out. As he went around a corner, he had to stop. As he smelled something strong, the target dropped something strong. Peppermint. Where the hell had he even got that? He coughed as the smell got potent. The trail was obliterated by the peppermint smell. As Kakashi landed, I can smell the mint from here, Pakon. I guess the trail is dead. Pretty much. This kid is rather elusive. Don't worry, direct tracking is not going to work on him. We have to think this one through. You can have a rest. Good, my nose hurt from the smell. As Pakon poofed away, Kakashi sighed. Naruto was lost in the city and he could be anywhere. There was Jonins and Anvus. He literally went to the Hyuga compound, and no one could catch him. Kakashi made his way towards the monument, as he didn't know why, but he had a feeling. As he arrived there, he could see the grass was a bit disturbed. Someone was sitting right here. As Kakashi then read the name of his student, as he realized something. Naruto did not know the name. Yes, he did not know the boy's name. He didn't know who he was going to be on trial for killing. He wanted the answers. Kakashi then moved towards the tower as rain started to fall. Time skip. Thunder. As Nadia looked through the window, her forces were sweeping the city to find one person. Literally one person. As she turned to Shikaku that was in the room. You sure, she said. Entirely. Give it time. She kept watching the city until the power went out. Commander, what are the chances the lightning strike taking out the power? Extremely low. How unlucky we are then. Indeed, he said. She went back to waiting. Lightning flashed as a figure was in front of her decks. His name. Tell me his name. Did you have to cut the power to the tower? Didn't want light, want name. Why should I tell you? You never asked. You never asked him. You, no name. As a crossbow was brought up, as she knew that it was pointed right at her jugular. You think that threat would work? There was just pure silence. Why do you want to know his name? He was precious to me, like the son I didn't have. He was a living embodiment of two people I love. And now he's dead, just like them. He looks so much like Noah can use the same technique that Dan did. I would rather die than tell you his name. She knew he was conflicted. Killing her would be against any one of his orders. His finger moved towards the trigger, but it stopped. Shikaku has used his shadow jutsu, does he? Yes, I wish. Talk. Make him put the bow away, Commander. I should order him to kill you right away now. You do realize that. The bow was disarmed and placed back over his back. Yes, you won't. As she realized that his speech had something went wrong with it. How long had it been since he last had a conversation? Since he made any noise louder than a whisper. He was trying to put the words together, but words are missing. Why won't I? She said. Give me a reason. You don't like secret. If you kill now, questions. Answers you don't have. Any other reason? You don't kill. True. So why should I throw you in TNI? Secure you with chakra, restraining cuffs, and cut off your legs so you can't escape again, she asked. I report mission. What mission? Retrieve. Kill Uchiha. That mission ended 3 years ago. The retrieval team was unsuccessful and 4 of them nearly died in the process. 1 of them actually died. I did not kill him. It looks like you did. It looks like you and Sasuke had to go at him, then the both of you disappeared. You know that looked like you're a traitor. Danzo was arguing that killing Sasuke would be a mistake. You see why I might be suspicious. Sasuke, dead. Poisoned. You're doing? Yes. Proof, she asks. Visual corpse. Any other proof? I can. Witness. Your testimony is really sketchy. I need summon. She looked at him. You want to perform a summoning jutsu in my office while my commander restrains you? Yes. Shikaku, allow him to perform the jutsu. But guys, if you end episode right here, for the next part of it, or not to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications to stay posted. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.